In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to apply our logo designs, like you see here, to some mock-ups like a staff uniform, a van, and also a carry bag. So your final presentation could look something like this. This is another option. You can see that we've got two logos, one working in black and white, one in color, and a display of how they can be applied to transport, carry bag, staff uniform, and also a back and a front of a business card. So with our mock-up options, these are your choices of hats, t-shirts, vans. Those ones there are what we can choose from. So the first thing to have done is to have saved your logo from Illustrator as a separate JPEG. This is the logo that I'm going to be using. Then what we're going to do is to go to the Art Design drive, go to the Year 11 folder, click into Viscom, click into Mockups, and then we're going to select any of these files. So I'm going to work on this t-shirt option to start with. And we have opened it up here, so I will just close that one and open it again so we can start from the beginning. So once you've opened that file, you need to also open your photoshopped, your logo design. So you can see mine's open here. You can see I've got a transparent background as well. So that's really important. Your logo must have nothing around the background. So if it does, you can use your magic wand just to delete all the white around and then save it. So you'll come to a file looking like this, and we're going to go over to our layers panel, and this is where all of our editing starts. So the first layer has a quick tutorial that you can turn on and off, and then you can see the t-shirt design that you'll be editing underneath. So this is helpful. The first step to change the design, you work on the layer saying your design. To change the colors, you can work on this layer saying shirt color, and then there's an extras layers panel as well. So we'll get rid of that and turn off the visibility. Then what we're going to do is to double click in on the image layer that says your design, and it's going to actually open another Photoshop file. And here is the logo that's already on, and we can turn on the placement guide for the t-shirt that's underneath. What we want to do is we want to use the move tool to click on our logo and bring it onto the layer with the t-shirt on it. So the new layer, the layer 1. You can see that it's placed. I can go Control T just to transform the size. So you could do a placement print, you could do a small one as if it's kind of in the corner over where a pocket might be. If we're happy with that, we can press Enter. And we obviously don't need the original one underneath, so we can trash that. We make sure that the visibility is turned on for our logo and the placement guide underneath is turned off. And if I go back to my original file, we should have our logo there. I'm just going to go Control S to save. It should be saving that, and click OK. So if you don't save it, it won't transfer to the original mock-up. So if we click back here, it should be there now. Sorry. And click back, and here it is. So my design is sitting there. If we need to edit anything, you can go back into this one and you can edit it here. It's probably looking a bit big, but I'm just going to carry on. So underneath here, we've got some additional layers. Oh, we actually want to turn the visibility of our logo design on there as well. Make sure we do that. Okay, so under textures and tags, I can turn the visibility on of a little tag that appears up here, so you can choose to have that on. You've got highlights, so these are like tiny little subtle shadows around the outside of yeah, that's a good one, shadows on and off. So we do want to keep all those shadows on. We can close that one. We can also, here's shadows as well. Sorry, I'm going to go back in textures and tags and scroll down. There's a printed tag. We can turn that off, which was the logo up here, or you can turn it on. And down here, these two are really important. So one is the texture. If I turn that one on, I get this kind of cotton marl texture. So if I want to edit that, I can double click on the image and I can import a texture and change it. These are just the suggested kind of ones. I can scroll down here to other texture groups. They're not so suitable for t-shirts, probably more rendering textures, but you can kind of see what you might be able to get away with. They're just suggesting textures of the fabric. If you don't want a texture, you can turn that off. And then we can also double click on the little color swatch here to select a color for the overall t-shirt as well. So in this part of your design process, you're really testing placement, textures, and colors. As we have a look further down at some of the layers, we've got shadows, and then there's one called backgrounds. You can apply different backgrounds, which that really highlights sort of the design quite nicely as well. And that's it. So then what we want to do is we're going to go to File, Export, and we're going to go Export As. And I can save this one as a JPEG and click Export All. And I would save this one as So Little Pink t-shirt, and I would put that in my mockup examples folder and click Save. There's my image. And so you just want to keep that Photoshop file open for some further editing. So again, if you wanted to change this placement, we would double click here. It would open this layer. We can go Control T and maybe do an option of a logo that's quite a lot smaller, and perhaps place it just in the corner here. And you could carry on and edit another option of a t-shirt with your logo here. Once we've got a few options, we're going to go over to InDesign and we're going to place our images of our different apparel mock-ups, our different bags and our different vans on some pages like this. And essentially what we're trying to come up with is the best selection of options. You can see, I think, up here is a selection that we've got my logo. I've got a t-shirt option, a hat, a bag. It's missing the van. I would have a business card here and some color swatches. Some other final presentations that look great also are ones like this. So we're really showing the client what our logos are going to look like applied to a set of business merchandise, and this one too. Okay, so that's our process of using the mock-ups. Make sure that you download all the mock-ups that you'd like to be testing before you leave school, because you won't be able to access them from home on the student drive. Make sure you save all your work.